You knew at 5 just hours ago, cameras captured the first moments of former President Donald Trump arriving in New York. Most of the images of him walking from his plane were taken from a distance. These are images from LaGuardia Airport, seen just after 3 o'clock.
Now, this is a live look at Trump Tower in New York over the weekend, and most of today, security was ramped up after the news of Trump's indictment. Tomorrow morning, Trump will become the first former or sitting president ever to appear in court charged with a crime.
His history-making surrender and arraignment is just hours away now. Mike Valerio is live in New York, where he'll join us in a minute with more on the legal preparations and citywide security efforts underway. But first, here's the latest on tomorrow's hearing.
Former President Donald Trump is expected to spend Monday evening back in Trump Tower, strategizing with his legal team ahead of Tuesday's voluntary surrender and arraignment.
He's taken into custody with his Secret Service detail in tow. He will be booked, so he'll be fingerprinted. He'll get a NICID number, which is the New York State tracker that shows you've been arrested and charged with a felony.
Trump's defense team is clear on its planned response.
We will very loudly and proudly say not guilty. I very much anticipate a motion to dismiss coming because there's no law that fits this.
And once the indictment is unsealed,
the team will look at every potential issue that we will be able to challenge, and we will challenge it.
On his media platform, Truth Social, overnight, Trump continued the drumbeat of the unproven claim that the case judge, quote, hates him.
What we have to do is actually let the process play out. This is the criminal justice system in America. When it's at its best, justice is blind. That's the aspiration here.
New York City leaders say there have been no specific, credible security threats so far.
While there may be some rabble-rousers thinking about coming to our city tomorrow, our message is clear and simple. Control yourselves.
Violence and destruction are not part of legitimate, lawful expression, and it will never be tolerated in our city.
And Yolanda and Andrew back here live. You know, we really haven't heard from President Biden on this subject until the last hour when he was asked by one of the members of our team, what do you think of this entire circus that is unfolding behind us? President Biden said that he trusts the NYPD to minimize any disruptions that may happen tomorrow. And he also told our team that he trusts the legal system to handle President Trump's case fairly. Yolanda and Andrew.
All right, thank you, Mike. Now let's turn to the unsealing of the indictment and other elements of tomorrow's choreography that are just being finished or at this hour are not quite set in stone. What do you know about that?
Well, Yolanda and Andrew, there was a chance that this indictment was going to be unsealed before the arraignment process tomorrow. In the federal system, whenever there's an indictment, whenever it comes down, you know what the charges are. It's kind of a quirk of New York State criminal justice here. So we're waiting for that. We're also waiting to hear whether or not there's going to be any kind of broadcasting from the proceedings tomorrow. So the judge in this case, he's a little hesitant in the past to let any kind of cameras inside his courtroom for the trial of Alan Weisselberg, the CEO of the Trump Organization that he presided over a couple months. He let one still camera in for the verdict, and that's it. So we're not expecting broadcast cameras and cable news cameras in the courtroom tomorrow. And then, of course, the whole proceeding happens, but what we're going to be watching is to see if there's potentially a gag order against President Trump. If the judge in this case orders him not to truth, not to potentially go back on Twitter and tweet or Facebook anything about this trial. So those are kind of the threads that are still unresolved right now that we're watching in the hours and the next day ahead.
Yeah, that will be interesting because he had already planned to speak at Mar-a-Lago after going back there, leaving New York. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Thank you, Mike Valerio, reporting live from New York.
We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Yeah.